Hello everyone, welcome back to the Cursing Seamstress. Today is the 12th of September and I am on my way out the door in just a minute to go to work. I wanted to film this video on a pattern, and I guess this will be a pattern review, that I finished yesterday, and I ironed it today and I'm wearing it. I'm wearing it to work and I'll show it to you. This is the pattern. It's a Simplicity 1080. This is a pattern that was designed by somebody named Dottie Angel. Do you know who Dottie Angel is? I don't. I had never heard of her. I went on Pattern Review and read some of the reviews again after I had made the dress, which is crazy. But the reviews were pretty good. Most people gave it a 4 or a 5. I think one person gave it a 2, but that was because she lost one of the instruction pages and some other things happened. But yeah, I give this pattern a 5. And I think I'll post something on Pattern Review. It's, when you look at it, when I first saw it, I thought it looked very much like Holly Hobbie from the 70s, I think. Holly Hobbie dressed in clothing that looked like quilting cottons, ditzy prints, and I think she wore an apron a lot of times. Sort of a country 1930s sort of a look. So I thought this was a cute pattern, and the fabrics that they recommend are batiks, calico, challis, chambray, cotton lawn, cotton types, dotted Swiss, eyelet, gingham, linen types, madras, poplin, shirtings, and that's it. You will need bias tape for this. So pretty much what it is a dress or tunic. The dress is below the knee. You have the option of making a contrasting bottom here, which I didn't do. You can mix up different fabrics to make it a little bit more creative looking. I didn't do that either. So pretty much what this pattern is a dress with it does have an empire waist because the ties are right here under the bust line. As a matter of fact, I could probably lower these, and I read that somebody did go down another inch, but it's fine for me. But if I make it again, I might do that. Some other things that people said was that the armholes were too big, and they can be. I noticed that that was a little iffy when I was getting ready to stitch this all up toward the end. I made sure that I came up high enough on the armhole so that my bra didn't show. The neckline is finished. I used some purple bias binding. The bias binding does not show on the outside. It does show, well, it does show, I think the hem was actually supposed to be with bias binding too. I can't think of anything else to tell you about that. The only thing, these are the pieces, very simple pieces. So really 4 pieces, front, back, the tie, and the pocket. Oh, and there's also an upper pocket piece too. So simple really to put together. They do want you to set the side seam with a French seam. I did do that. When I went to put my right sides together to do the final French seam. I did do 5/8 of an inch seam allowance because I wanted it taken in just a little bit. I made the size large/extra large on this, thinking that it would probably run a little bit bigger, and it did. Now, the way that they tell you to do these sleeves, they're sort of cap sleeves, grown on sleeves, and it's just bizarre to me. They want you to use bias tape on here, and this is the pattern piece. They want you to put your bias, the crease of your bias tape on this line right here, and then taper down to nothing with the bias tape. I tried doing that, and it was way too difficult to taper down to nothing. I ended up unpicking the bias tape and just thinking that I was gonna do it a different way. It just didn't work for me. So what I did was I went back and I realigned my fabric on this, and I ended up just cutting the fabric on this line and cutting all the way, tapering about an inch before this cutout here, this triangle. So then I went in with my single fold bias tape, and I just covered, I inserted the fabric between the two sides of the bias tape so the bias tape would show, and that worked really well. I had no trouble using that method. That also took off a little bit of the length for these sleeves, which is good. Trying to think what else I did that might have been a little bit different. I thought about tapering down a little bit, making this less A-line. In the end, I didn't do that. I think it looked fine being a little A-line. When you tie the ties in the back, it kind of helps everything to fall into place. This fabric was thrifted. I did not show this fabric to you. It was the only fabric I got the last time I went to a thrift store. Had several yards of it, and I think I paid $2 for it. And I forgot the company it came from. I don't think they're in business anymore. You can find, I wish I had written down the name of the company that made it. Doesn't matter. It's a Ditsy print. It's purple quilting cotton. It's very nice. Let's see. Ties are easy to make. They're quite thin. And can't think of anything else to say. I really like it. Yeah. The pockets are adorable. I'll stand up and show these to you. They're made a little bit different. They're a curved pocket, and they wanted you to baste on the bias binding and then sew it to the dress and then remove the basting. I don't do that. They wanted you to baste it by hand. I don't do hand sewing if I can avoid it. So I just went ahead and sewed it directly onto the pocket and then sewed it again onto the dress, and that worked out great. Somebody on Pattern Review said that if you wanted to make sure that your thread matched the bias tape, that you would be switching out thread colors a lot. Well, I didn't care if it didn't match, so I just kept purple in my machine. So you can see the purple stitching on the white bias tape. That doesn't bother me at all. So, all right, let me show you the pocket. The pocket has a cute little pleat in it. I don't know how well you can see it. That's the bias tape around it. There's a little pleat here. There's a top part here that you sew on initially. So they're nice deep pockets. And I am going to get you a good shot. I'm going to back up so you can see the whole dress, and I'll be right back. Okay, so this is the whole dress right here. Pockets here. The ties begin here. There are a couple of little pleats that get folded to the outside, and you tuck in the beginning of the straps within the folds. So the back looks like this. And it's just super comfortable, easy to make. Again, the things to worry about are making sure that you come up high enough for the underarm. Again, what worked for me was ignoring the way that they wanted you to do the hem on these sleeves, and just cut away that part that they have marked on the pattern, and that way it'll shorten them a little bit. Somebody on Pattern Review actually changed this totally by making a ruffle band and putting or I think it was a pleated band around here. That would be a great idea. So there is no demarcation from the sleeve to the main part of the dress. It just goes in a straight line. So that's why you just have to taper that bias tape to even make a sleeve. So that's all. I recommend it. I think it's great. I think it's a cute look. It's a nice summery wear, pockets for whatever you need them for. In my case, pens and pencils and stuff. So that's it. Try this pattern if you're interested. And thank you so much for watching. Have a great day. Bye-bye.